In the last video, we saw how the find window can handle literal searches brilliantly, but what happens when you don't know the exact text you're looking for? Alex here has been keeping this app testing log since 2023. It's a bit of a mess. The dates are in many different formats, as we can see here. Well, if I open up the find window with Command and F, if I want to find something that's based on a pattern, I'm going to check the Grep checkbox here. Now, the name Grep, lowercase always, stands for Global Regular Expression Print. And that's a mouthful, so everyone just calls it Grep. And I know that might sound technical, but BBEdit has a built-in cheat sheet that means you don't need to memorize any of this. And I'll show you that in a moment. Now, Grep allows you to search for patterns. So if I uncheck this and search for a digit, which we do with a backslash and a D, nothing appears because it's looking for that actual text. However, if I check it again, we've got a result. It detects all of the digits. And that's one of the simplest Grep searches we can do. /D, any digit. Now, we'll of course build some more shortly, but just to show you what you have here to help you, underneath this button, we've got that Grep cheat sheet. And this gives you the main syntaxes that you're going to use. We've got literal text at the top, the any digit one that we just used with a lowercase d, and then if it's an uppercase D, it's going to do any non-digit. So as you start to learn more about Grep, use this cheat sheet because it's going to help you a lot. But for now, we're going to build a few ourselves. Now, what we're going to do first is we're going to build a pattern that will detect all dates with this format. So 2 digits, a /, 2 more digits, a /, and then the 4 digits for the year. So I could use the cheat sheet, but trust me, we don't need it because I'm going to walk you through. So first, I'm going to put a caret symbol in with Shift and 6. And this says it only wants to look at the beginning of a line. And I want the digits that are at the beginning of the line because that's where the date is. Then I'm going to have a backslash with a D, which as we've seen, looks for any digits. So now this query means any digits at the beginning of a line. And we can see the results already starting to appear. Now I want the first 2 digits. So I'm going to do a curly bracket, number 2, and then close the curly bracket. And as we can see, it's picking up the results again as we go. All those results are the first 2 digits in a line. Now I'm going to put in a /, and that is literally looking for the / character. And then I want the next 2 digits. So a backslash, D, curly bracket, 2, and close the bracket. Then I have another /, and I want the 4 digits for the year next. So I'll put the number 4 in between 2 more curly brackets there. Now that query has returned the results I need. And when you work through it, it wasn't actually that hard to build. Now they may be highlighted there, but in the find window, I can click find all. And another window pops up with all of the results listed. And I can click through them and make some manual replacements if I need to. Now I've just paused and made a small change to a handful of dates here. You'll see this top one only has 1 digit for the month. And it's now separated with hyphens as opposed to /. Same for this one down here. And that means they're not going to appear as results in that Grep search that we did because it's looking for 2. So how do we modify this search to capture these ones as well? Well, let's delete it all first and type from the beginning again just to re-cement our knowledge. So a caret at the beginning to say we want the beginning of a line, then /D for a digit. Then I'll type in a curly bracket with a number 1, and then I'm going to put in a comma and then a 2, and then close the bracket. So this means I want 1 or 2 digits first. And in our preview of results, we can see that. Now to pick up either a / or a hyphen, I'm going to put in a square bracket, then a / followed by a backslash, then a hyphen, and then close that square bracket. And this is just saying, please return a / or a hyphen next. And it's doing it. I need to do exactly the same now for the month. So 1 or 2 digits there. And then we're going to look for either a / or a backslash again. And just to ensure I capture those times when Alex has put in 2 digits for the year instead of 4, I can put in a 2, 4 between these curly brackets. And look at that. All of those results being picked up from one Grep search. Now you can't have failed to notice there are other date formats in there as well. Using text, well, we can capture those as well. I'm going to open the Find window. This time, let's use that Grep cheat sheet to find what we need. Well, I'm looking for letters. So this one here, character class letters from A to Z, is the one. So I'm going to come in and type that in, but I want it to be capital letters first because the months should start with a capital letter. Then I'll add in the lowercase letters, followed by a plus, and that plus means it needs to be one or more characters. I'm then going to press the space bar, so that's a literal space between the word and the digits. And I'm going to search for the digits here, so this is going to be one or two of them. And we can see the preview results forming there again. Then I need another space and the digits for the year. So that's picked up many of them, but there's another text-based date format there as well. So to pick those up too, I'm going to put in a pipe symbol, which is shift and backslash on my keyboard. And this is just saying or. So we can put in a new query now. And this one is going to have one or two digits at the beginning, followed by a space, then the text. So capital followed by lowercase letters once more. Then I'll put in another space, and I'm going to finish with a search for 4 digits for the year. And there is a comprehensive Grep query that pulls all of the dates with text in them. And I can look to replace that format if I wish. We're not doing that just yet though, because there's one more thing that I want to show you before we do. If you've got a BBEdit license, because this is a pro feature, there is a dedicated space to experiment with patterns before they go anywhere near a real document. It's called Pattern Playground, and we can get there from the search menu just here. Now at the top, you can see the search pattern that we've entered. Then down here at the bottom, we can see the results that have been pulled, as well as change the scope of the search. Right now, we can see it's searching through the contents of the app testing log document. But I can click this drop down and do a search based on maybe this text file here. So no matter where you are, you can open up a Pattern Playground window to start playing with your Grep searches. Now I'm just going to come back to our testing log file here, and I'm going to delete this search completely because what I want to do is I want to set it up so that we can do a search and then look at how the text will look if we replace it with a different date format. Just bear with me as I walk along here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a left parentheses here, and then the first part of the search, which will be a \d, and then 1 or 2 digits in curly brackets. And when I close this, you'll see that we've got a new capture group appearing here. So anything in those first 2 parentheses that we've put in is capture group 1. And this is just something that BBEdit is going to remember. I'm then going to make it look for either forward slashes or hyphens with the square brackets here. And then I'm going to create my second capture group. So I'm going to open the parentheses and then search for 1 or 2 digits again. And when I close them, we've got our second capture group there. And down here in our preview, we can see the first instance that is found highlighted in yellow. And up here in our capture groups, we can see capture group 1 has got a value of 12 and capture group 2 has got a value of 3. Now let's search for forward slash or hyphen once more and then create our third capture group, which is going to get hold of the year. Now let's close that. So there are our 3 capture groups here, and we can see the results that they've picked up down here at the bottom. Now it's all very well and good finding it, but we want to know how it's going to look if we replace it with a different pattern. And the capture groups are going to make perfect sense now as to why we have them, because we're going to use those numbers to reorder it. If I type in a \, and a 3, that's going to put the third capture group first. And we can see that in the replacement text field here. Then I'll put in a hyphen, then a \2, and that's going to put in the month, then another hyphen, and I'm going to close it with a \1. And we can see now exactly how this particular instance will look if we carry out a replace function on it. You'll see as it goes to the next occurrence that it finds, it shows what it's going to look like when it's been replaced. The Pattern Playground is wonderful for just doing some testing as you get to grips with Grep. And if you're happy with how it looks, click on the Use for Find button. And that means that if I close this, you'll see we have a save dialog here, because we can save this pattern playground as an individual file that we can open at any point. I don't need to though. I'm not going to save it. And if I press Command and F now to open the find window, we can see the find and replace fields have been populated with our pattern playground entries. And this means we can use our replace or replace all buttons, and you can see all those entries have been changed there. And just like in the first video, you're not restricted to carrying out these actions on just one file. If I press Shift, Command and F, we've got a multi-file search. And if grep is checked in the checkbox, you can carry out this search on more than one file. Just check the files that you want to run the search against, and then you can click Find All or Replace All to show them in a separate window. So grep can look complicated at first, and to be honest, if you build complex search patterns, it can be, but you can also make it as easy as you need as you start getting used to it.